Hi guys, so for me it's a good morning as I'm teaching this at 7:45 in the morning. So whatever time of day you're choosing to do this video, make sure that you listen to your body. If it's first thing in the morning, it can be a little bit stiff from just awakening from a non-active sleep. If it's midday, usually your body's been moved a little bit so it can move a little easier. And if it's in the evening, just make sure you don't do it too late because that can keep you quite awake when you do Vinyasa flows. So today we are going to be doing 8 poses, and we're starting off with all 8 on one side, all 8 on the other, and we progressively drop a pose as we go through the class. So this builds quite a lot of strength and endurance. We will be taking breaks in between. The Vinyasa flows quite nicely. I will be throwing a little different flow in there as well, called a dancing warrior. You'll be very familiar with the poses, as it will be warrior 1, warrior 2, reverse warrior, triangle pose, and then we go back, and that's more breath to movement. So that's going to be a little flow that I'll throw in the middle. So like I say, we've got 8 poses for the Vinyasa flow. We take one off each time, and we'll be doing a little bit before and a little bit after as well. And we're going to be doing an arm balance, but it's actually a forearm balance, which is going to be baby crow. If you want to get yourself a block if you have one, or a book if you haven't, because that's going to be a half moon balance help if you need it. Just make sure the transitions are made as easy as you can possibly make them, and just enjoy it basically. So we're going to start by laying on our backs, and we're going to do a little bit of strength work in our glutes and our belly. So come to laying on the floor first. We're going to make it a little bit restorative at the beginning. So bring the body down, shoulders to the mat, to the top of the mat, the feet to the top of the mat, head to the back of the mat. Turn the palms up towards the ceiling. Have a little rock of those hips from side to side. Just massage that lower part of the spine. Get into that lower back. Push that lower back into the mat. Just rocking those hips for a couple of breaths. And then just bring those hips to stillness. Let the feet relax. Squeeze the bum. And then just release and just let all the muscles relax from the hips down, from the hips up. Maybe take a turn of the head in one direction, bringing it back through center. Take it over to the other side. Bring it back into the middle. Just make sure you find that comfortable space at the back of the head. Take a nice long deep breath in and a long breath out. Take a scan of the body from the top of the head, down to the tips of the fingers, down to the tips of the toes. Check in with the whole body, witnessing it, just making sure that everything is in good working order. If you're looking after any injuries, remember to be mindful of them. Choose what you need to do throughout this flow. But remember, there's always that mindful movement if this Vinyasa flow is just a little bit too challenging. Once you've taken that scan of that body, just start to bring the attention to the breath. Try to make those breaths a little deeper now, in through the nose. And if you can, breathe in, out through the nose, and continue in that style of breath throughout the practice, unless you're holding any colds or allergies, in which case you'll need to use that mouth. Expanding the belly as you breathe in, and allowing that belly to drop back towards the spine as you breathe out. The breath in is the energetic breath, and the breath out is that grounding and relaxation breath. Then start to bring that right knee in towards the chest. Give that knee a squeeze. Feel that hip flexor start to contract on the right side. Keep active through those right toes, squeezing them back towards the shins. Same with the left toes. Squeeze that knee as close to the body as you can. And then take that right knee over towards that right armpit, bringing that right thigh to the inside, to the outside of those rib cages on the right, squeezing it in as much as you can. Bring the knee of the right back to the centre. Take a hold of the knee with the left hand, right hand comes out to the side, and just allow that right knee to drop over to the left side of the mat. Just moving with the thoughts of how that lower back feels. Maybe that right knee doesn't come all the way to the floor. Maybe it reaches, but just notice how that lower back feels. Try and keep that right shoulder down on the floor as much as possible. Feel that stretch down that right side waist. And then bring that right knee back into the centre. Place the right foot on the floor by the side of the left thigh. Then just let that right knee drop out to the side as though you're in that standing tree position. Left toes stay active, right toes stay active. Have that little external rotation of that hip. Just hold it there just for another couple of breaths. And then straighten out that right leg back to meet the left. Bring your left knee in towards the chest. Squeeze that knee as close as you can in towards that body. Both toes on both feet active. So we're squeezing them back to both shins. And then bring that left knee to the outside of the body and squeeze it in towards that left armpit. Left thigh to the outside of those left rib cages. And just feel that compression. Try and relax through that hip flexor. And then bring that knee back into the centre. Keep a hold of the knee with the right hand. Left hand comes out to the side. Roll over with that left knee to the right side of the mat. Just feel that stretch down the waist. Try and keep the left shoulder down on the floor. Maybe if you wish to turn the head towards that left hand, feel free. Be aware of how the lower back feels. Try and tuck that tailbone towards the front of that mat. So we're not dumping into that lower spine. Just trying to let some form of relaxation come into that lower back. Then bring that knee back into the centre. Allow that left foot to be placed down by the side of the right thigh. Then just let that left knee drop out to the side. And just hold it here in tree legs for a few breaths. Getting that external rotation on that left hip. Just moving those hips through all directions. Just noticing how those hips feel, how those lower backs feel. All the time being aware of the movement of the body. Then bring that left knee back into the centre. Bring that right foot to meet the left, so both knees are bent. Bring the hands down by the sides of the body. So we're going to take it up just to hovering the bum off the mat. So just lift that bum away from the floor. Squeeze the bum cheeks. Knees hip width apart, feet hip width apart. Feel that contraction through the bum. And then start to lift those hips up a little higher, bringing them up so the body comes into a nice long line. The chest comes towards the chin but creates a little space through the back of the neck. Squeeze the bum a little more, activate this area of the bum. So the glute maximus, the upper hamstrings, squeezing, creating a little strength. So we're going to pulse here for 10. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold it there for a few more breaths, squeezing that bum as tight as you can squeeze it. And then slowly lower the bum back to a hover. So we're not taking it all the way to the floor. When you come to the hover, squeeze the bum again, push into the feet, trying to activate that body, the legs, the thighs, and then lift that bum again back up towards the ceiling. Feeling that nice long line in a bridge position, we're going to take 10 pulses again. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and this time lower all the way back down towards the floor. Just bring the arms to cactus arms and just rock those knees from side to side, creating a little windscreen wiper with the legs. And then bring those knees back into the centre. Lift both legs up towards the ceiling, pushing the heels away, toes back to the shins, so the legs come into a nice long line. It might be that your knees are a little bent, but try and get them as straight as you can. Hands come just underneath the bum to give that lower back a little support. Then with control on your out breath, start to lower that right leg down to a hover. Then on your in-breath, you raise that leg back up towards the ceiling. And then on your out-breath, the left leg lowers to a hover. All the time pushing that belly back, the lower spine into the mat. Your in-breath raises that leg back up towards the ceiling. Your out-breath, the right leg lowers to that hover. Try not to let that lower back arch, push it into the mat. Next breath in, raise that right leg again back up to the ceiling. And your breath out, that left leg lowers. Then bring back that leg back up on the inhale. Hold both legs nice and straight. Bring the hands up in front of you, palms come together. And then we're going to pulse for 10, lifting the shoulders away from the mat. So bring the head away. Next breath in to pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Release down, release the hands down by the side of the body. And then we're going to take them to lowering the legs one at a time again. Take a breath in. On your out breath, you lower the right leg. Your breath in, we raise the right leg back to meet the left, nice and slowly and controlled, keeping the back pushed in. On your out breath, the left leg lowers. Keep that belly drawn back. Breath in, we raise that left leg. Breath out, release the right leg back down again. Keep pushing that lower spine into the mat. And then on your in-breath, raise that right leg. Out breath, lower the left. Keep that core engagement as you drop the leg towards hover. Breath in, raise that leg back up to the ceiling. Breath out, release the right leg to a hover. So we're just doing this one more time on both sides. Breath in, raise that right leg back up to the ceiling. One more time on the left. Breath out, release to hover. Try not to collapse in this center. Breath in, raise that left leg back to meet the right. Palms come together above the face, and we're going to pulse for 10. So lift the shoulders away, and it's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the shoulders down, the feet come to the floor. Let the knees drop out to the side. Just relax through those hip flexors. Maybe just have a little rock of the knees from side to side to massage that lower back. And then we're going to make our way up to a seated position. So bring the knees in towards the chest, grab a hold of the creases, rock and put down that spine a couple of times. And then when you come to seated, tuck the feet under, bring the hands forward or swing the legs around, step it back to a plank position. Nice long line from the crown of the head to the heels. The belly squeezes back towards the spine. We try and lift those kneecaps by lifting and engaging those thighs. So really push into those hands, push the chest away from the floor, chest cavity into that space between the shoulder blades. Take a nice long, deep breath in. Long breath out. Then when you're ready, start to paddle the feet as we lift ourselves up into our first downward facing dog. One heel coming towards the mat at a time, maybe bringing a little movement through those hips. So we shouldn't have fussed with the hands or feet when we took ourselves to down dog. Try and keep that wide downward facing dog feeling, so the vinyasas can be a little easier when we move through them. If you shorten your down dog too much, it plays havoc with the wrists. So when you're ready to bring those heels to stillness, try and squeeze them back towards the mat. If this feels a little tight through the back chain of muscles, maybe just take a little micro bend in those knees to take the pressure off the lower back. So if you feel you're rounding, bend the knees, then try and straighten that spine a little more. So we're going to take it through the choices of vinyasas. I'm actually going to give you 5 choices today, but you can choose whichever vinyasa option you wish to go for. So option 1, come forward to a plank, drop down the knees, turn the creases of the elbows graze the ribs as you bring the chest to the floor. Onto the toes, little baby cobra. Then release the chest back down, tuck under those toes, bring the chest back towards the thighs. Push into the hands, push into the feet, lift the hips, squeeze the heels back. Feet and hands should still be the same distance apart. Option 2, come forward to plank on the inhale and release down with a straight body. Elbows graze the ribs. When you get to the floor, onto the toes, push into the hands, maybe come up to a little bit higher, maybe upward facing dog. Then release the chest back down, tuck under the toes, bring the chest back towards those thighs. Push into the hands, push into the feet, lift up the hips and squeeze those heels back. Option 3, if you're coming with me, chaturanga, come forward to plank on the inhale, keep that engagement in the belly, and then as you release down to hover off the floor, elbows in line with the ribs, roll over the toes and lift up the chest, keep the thighs away into our upward facing dog. Then as you breathe out, roll over those toes and lift up the hips, squeeze the heels back. So that's option 1 to 3, you can take any of those options. If you want to try option 4, we're going to do it on both sides, so we'll make it 6 vinyasas in total. So option 4, we raise up the right leg, we come forward to a plank, we release to hovering chaturanga, we hop off the back toes, we lift up the chest, dropping the right foot to the mat, and then take it back to down dog, lifting the hips, squeezing those heels back. So whatever we do on the right side, we do on the left. So lift up the left leg if you're coming with me. Come forward to plank on your inhale. Release to a hover. Hop off the back toes, drop the left foot, lift up the chest. Making your way back to down dog, lifting the hips, squeezing the heels back. So if you take that option with the lifted leg, try and make it equal on both sides. And option 5 is going to be the scoop through like a snake. So you take a breath in, on your breath out, bend the knees, scoop through, breath in, lifts up the chest, breath out, takes it back to down dog. So only take that option if you're used to your chaturangas and you can work your chaturangas out. If you don't feel comfortable with chaturanga, then go option 1 or 2. So coming down onto the knees, maybe take a little water break here before we start those 8 poses on your right side. We'll do the 8 poses on the left side and then we'll come to a natural break. So we'll be taking more breaks at the beginning as we're having so many poses running through. So have a little roll of the shoulders, just make those shoulders feel a little relaxed. And then when you're ready, come to your downward facing dog, lifting the hips, squeezing the heels back. Ready to take on those 8 poses, all on that right side. In fact, if you're using a block, just place that block to the left side of the mat. To the right side of the mat. Lift the hips and squeeze those heels back. So on your breath in, raise up with your right leg. Try and keep both legs nice and straight, hips nice and neutral. Then on your breath out, bring that knee to the chest. Step that right foot in between the hands. Drop down onto that back knee, untuck the toes. Raise the arms up to the ceiling, bring the palms together. Left elbow over to the right knee. Turn and twist the shoulders. Tuck the back toes under, lift that back leg. And this is where we're holding for a few breaths. So that rotation in the high lunge legs. So that left heel pushes back. We ground into that right foot. We push into both hands. That left arm's the anchor to make the twist. Try and keep both hips nice and neutral to the front edge of the mat. And the shoulders are turned to the right, which creates that twist. One more breath here. Then release that left hand down to the floor, just slightly in front of the right foot. And then step yourself back to side plank. Right foot goes back to meet the left. Right hand lifts. You can drop that base knee if you wish, that left knee. And keep that chest nice and open to that right side of the room. Holding it in side plank for a couple of breaths. Remember, that base knee can be dropped if you wish. Try and push the hips forward, the shoulders back. Create that nice long line through that body. Take a bend into your right knee. Bring your right hand to the toes or the ankles. And then try and find that right foot placed back to the front of the mat. Hop onto that right leg and place the right hand onto the block or onto the floor if you're not using a block. Bring your left hand to the shoulder and turn those shoulders out to the left side, bringing it into a half moon balance. And then raise that left hand, if you wish, up towards the ceiling, feeling that balance, that standing on that right leg, holding it in that half moon pose for a couple of breaths. Or have a fall if you're like me. One more breath here. Then take a bend into your right knee, step your left foot to the back of the mat and find your warrior two. So the gaze is towards those right fingertips. We tuck under the tailbone, we draw the lower belly up towards those ribs. We try and turn that right knee out towards that right edge of the mat to see that big toe on that right foot. Relax those shoulders, lengthen the arms, maybe sink a little lower into that right leg. Then from this position, we'll reverse the warrior. Turn the right palm, reach forward towards the front of the mat. Then raise that right hand up to the ceiling, still keeping that right knee bent, left leg straight. Bums tucked under, belly drawn back. The left hand can come down the left leg or bind onto that right thigh if you wish. Keep those breaths nice and long and easy. Then from here, bring yourself to side angle. Right forearm goes onto the right thigh. Left arm reaches up to the ceiling. Then we reach forward with that left hand to find that side angle stretch. Push energetically into that left foot, energetically into the whole of that right foot. Still maintaining the tuck of the tailbone, that right bum cheek tucked under, the left hip turned out, left shoulder stacking on top of the right. Keep breathing nice, long, easy breaths here. Then from this position, bring that left hand down to the floor. Bring the right hand down to the floor on the inside of that right leg. Heel toe that right foot out to the side of the mat, finding our lizard lunge. So options here, you can either stay up on the hands, or you can bring the forearms onto a block, or you can bring those forearms down to the floor onto the mat if you've got the space in those hips. You can drop the back knee if you wish, if you're uncomfortable in this position, or you can keep those toes tucked to the left foot, keeping the left knee lifted. Try and squeeze that right knee towards that right shoulder. Keep pushing those forearms into either the block, the floor, or keep pushing into those hands. Holding it in lizard pose for a couple of breaths. Try and straighten that back leg as much as you can, pushing that left heel away. Keep pushing into that big toe on that right foot. If you've come down onto forearms, come back up onto the hands just for a moment. And then this transition is going to be going back into our dolphin pose. So have the hands shoulder width apart. Step your right foot back to meet the left. Drop down onto the forearms and keep the hips lifted. Walk the hands forward towards those elbows. Have a nod and a shake of the head. Try and encourage the heels as close towards the mat as you can. Finding dolphin pose, arms tracking each other, hands nice and wide, fingertips pushing into the mat. Then put the weight onto your right foot and raise that right leg up to the ceiling. Keep hips nice and level, left heel encouraged down to the floor. One more breath here. Then release that right foot back to the mat. Come back up onto the hands to your downward facing dog position. And take a vinyasa of your choice. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. I'm taking option 4 by lifting the right leg up to the ceiling. Coming forward to a plank. Releasing down to a hover. Hopping off the back toes, dropping the right foot. Lifting up the chest. Making your way back to down dog. Lifting the hips and squeezing those heels back. So we've done 8 poses on the right side, so we take 8 poses on the left. Breath in, raise that left leg, keep the hips nice and neutral. Lift the left leg as high as we can, right heel to the floor. Bring the knee into the chest, gaze in between the hands. Step the left foot through. Lift up the arms. Drop the back knee. Right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Twist the chest. Then maybe lift that back knee back up. So we've got high lunge legs with a rotation. So that right elbow is your anchor. Feel that twist from the waist. Try and keep the hips neutral to that front edge of the mat. Tucking your right shoulder under, your left shoulder back. Pushing into the whole of the left foot and the toes of the back foot. Then release that right hand down just in front of the left foot. Step the left foot back to a side plank, lifting up that left hand, lifting up the hips. You can drop that base knee if you wish. Bringing that right knee down, maybe turning that right foot off the mat slightly. Feeling that nice long length down that left side. Holding in side plank just for another breath. Then bring that bend into that left knee. Take a hold of either the shin, the ankle, or the big toe. Bring that left foot back forward. If you're on that right knee, lift the right knee away. Take a hold of your block in front of you. Hop onto that left foot. Lift that right leg. Bring your right hand onto your right shoulder. And turn and twist the shoulders and the hips to the right side of the mat. To take that half moon pose on this side. So feeling that stability through that standing leg, noticing the muscles working to hold that pose. Right shoulder stacking as much as it can on top of that left shoulder. And then take a bend into that left knee, step your right foot to the back of the mat. Find your warrior 2 pose here. I've just lost my earphone. And then feeling those shoulders stacking over those hips, pushing nice and strong into that left foot, actively into the right foot. Bums tucked under, belly's drawn back. Feel those hips coming nice and low. Left knee, so we can see the big toe on that left foot. Then reverse the warrior, reaching forward with the left hand. Raise it up to the ceiling. Right hand comes around the back of the right leg. Grabbing a hold of maybe that left thigh. Breathing into that left rib cage. Then bring that left forearm on the top of the left thigh. Right arm comes up and over to your side angle stretch. Turning the shoulders towards that right side of the room. Keep reaching forward with the right hand, pushing into the outside of that right foot. Hips stay low. Then bring both hands down to the inside of that left foot. Heel turn the left foot out to the side. Bring the hands down. If you wish to come onto forearms, either on a block or on the mat. Right leg stays straight, left toes push in towards the floor. Left knee in towards that left shoulder. Holding it here just for a few breaths. Remember that back knee can be dropped or you can be on your hands. And then everybody, if you're down on forearms, come back up onto the hands. Just release the block to the side. Then step your left foot back to meet the right. Come down onto the forearms. Keep the hips lifted. Finding dolphin pose. Walking the feet maybe a little closer towards those elbows. Hips lifted as high as they can be. Pushing strong into the forearms. Pushing strong into the hands. Then bring your weight onto your right foot, lift your left leg up to the ceiling. Hips stay nice and neutral. Then release that left foot back down to meet the right. Come back up onto the hands to find your downward facing dog. And take a vinyasa of your choice. If you lifted the right leg last time, lift the left leg. Come forward to a plank. Release down to a hover. Hop off the back toes, drop the left foot, lift the chest. Making our way back to down dog, lifting the hips, squeezing those heels back. Come down onto the knees, either take child's pose or a water break. So what we'll be dropping off there is dolphin pose, and we'll be doing all the other poses still. As we go along, we drop the poses off. So if you start to fatigue at any point, obviously just bring yourself to child's pose just to have a little rest. If you're good to go, just modify if you need to by dropping knees in side planks. If you need to not hold a pose for too long, if things are starting to ache, just straighten legs, drop arms, relax shoulders. There's always something you can do to help release anything that feels uncomfortable. So when you're ready, making your way back to downward facing dog, stepping both feet back, plank first, then lift the hips. Squeeze those heels back. Your breath in, we raise up with the right leg, hips stay neutral, raise the leg as high as you can without that right hip turning out, left heel to the floor. Bring the knee in towards the chest, gaze in between the hands, come onto the toes of the back foot as you step the right foot through. Drop the back knee, raise the arms, bring the hands together at the chest, left elbow, right knee, then lift that back leg up, find your high lunge legs with a twist. Use those hands to push together, the left arm to anchor onto that right knee. Try and keep the neutral hips to the front edge of the mat. Try and particularly not to drop in that left side. The elongation on the inhale, the twist on the exhale. Then release that left hand down just in front of that right foot. Roll onto the knife edge of your left foot as you step back to side plank. Remember, you can drop that left knee if you need to. Keep lifting those hips. Keep reaching up with that right hand. And then take a bend into your right knee. Bring your hand towards that foot. Bring it back forward to the front of the mat. Your block comes in front of you. Step forward onto the right leg, lift the left leg, lift the left hand to the shoulder, turn the shoulders and the hips, lifting the left hand then up to the ceiling, left toes back towards the shins, pushing the left heel away, trying to create some space in that chest. Maybe gaze up to that left hand if you want to challenge the balance a little more. At the moment, I don't need to challenge it any more than I am. And then take a bend into your right knee, step your left foot back, find warrior two, sink the hips, reach through the arms, relax through the shoulders, pushing into both feet, activate those legs. Crown of the head stacking on top of the spine. So we've got a nice long line from the head down to the base. Bending into that right knee, maybe a little more, turning the right knee out to the side. Reverse warrior, turn the right palm, reach forward, lift the right hand, find reverse warrior. Either the left hand comes behind the back or trails down that left leg. Gazing into that right palm, keeping the hips low. And then bringing that right forearm onto the top of the right thigh. Release that left hand. Send it up to the ceiling, then forward to the front of the mat. Side angle stretch. Long, easy breaths here. Then release both hands down to the inside of the right foot. Heel toe that right foot out to the side. Choice where you take your lizard pose. You can either drop the back knee, bring that block to just under the face, or bring the forearms down onto a block or onto the floor. Maybe those hips are starting to feel a little more open as you work through these flows. So maybe those forearms can come straight to the mat. How does your body feel? How does it feel on this right hip? Try and squeeze that right leg as much as you can in towards that right shoulder. You can be upon your hands if you wish. Remember that back knee can be wherever you want it to be. If it's lifted, push that left heel back. One more breath here. Then coming back up onto the hands if you're not already. Step the right foot back to meet the left. Lift the hips, squeeze the heels back to your downward facing dog. Vinyasa of your choice. I'm taking option 5, so I bend the knees, bend the elbows, scoop myself through like a snake, lift the chest, keep the thighs away, making my way back to down dog, lifting the hips, squeezing those heels back. So we're going to take that exact same movements on the left side, dropping off that dolphin pose at the end. So your breath in, raise that left leg. Hips stay neutral, right heel towards the floor, stretching that hamstring on the back of that right leg, the calf and the Achilles. Bring that left knee into the chest. Gaze in between the hands, step the left foot through, drop the back knee, raise the arms. Bring the hands together at the chest, right elbow, left knee. Tuck the back toes back under, lift that back leg if you want to, or keep it grounded. Try and use those hands to open and twist to that left side. Left shoulder on top of the right. Try not to drop in that right hip. Holding it in the high lunge leg rotation, just for one more breath. Then release that right hand down to the floor just in front of the left foot. Come onto the knife edge of the right foot. Take that left foot back to meet the right side plank, lifting the hips, or dropping that right knee to the floor if you need to. Push the hips forward, push the chest forward. Nice long line, maybe gaze up to those hands if you wish. And then take a bend back into your left knee. Take a hold of the ankle, the foot or the big toe. Lead it back to the front of the mat to high lunge legs. Step onto your left leg, lift your right leg. Left hand goes onto the block or a book. And then we turn the shoulders to find half moon standing on that left leg. Hips and shoulders turn to the right side of the mat. Right hand raises up to the ceiling. Right heel pushes back, right toes back to the shins. Hold it in that half moon pose just for a couple of breaths. Nice, long, easy. Balancing, stretching, strengthening. Bend that left knee, step that right foot back. Find warrior two, sinking into that left knee. Opening that left knee out to see that big toe on that left foot. Shoulders relaxed, arms long. Then find your reverse warrior, turning the left palm, reaching forward, raising that hand to the ceiling. Right hand down the back of the right leg, or find the bind onto that left thigh. Hips stay low, left knee stays bent. Back leg stays straight. Then bring that left forearm onto the top of the left thigh. Reach the right hand up, then over. Side angle stretch. Bums tucked under, right hip turned out. Relax that right shoulder if it's squeezing up to the ear. Then bring both hands down either side to the inside of that left foot. Heel toe the left foot out to the edge of the mat. Choice to either drop that back knee, stay up on the hands, or come onto the block with forearms, or come onto the floor with forearms, depending on how the openness of that left hip feels. But try and imitate the same as you did on the right if you can, unless one hip is particularly tight, then just maybe modify it a little bit more. Taking easy, long breaths in this position. Feeling that openness coming through those hips. One more breath here. If you're down on forearms, come back up onto the hands. Step your left foot back to meet the right. Lift the hips, downward facing dog. Take a vinyasa of your choice. I'm doing option 5 again, bending the knees and the elbows, scooping my body through to chaturanga, lifting the chest, keeping the thighs away. Making your way back to down dog, lifting the hips, squeezing those heels back. So coming down onto the floor, either to child's pose or taking on some water. So the next pose will be dropping off our lizard. And then we'll drop off side angle, then reverse warrior, and eventually we'll come to just doing one pose at the end. So as you can tell, really building it up at the beginning really builds heat, and it starts to bring it down one pose at a time, so it becomes a little bit more restorative at the end. But we do need these water breaks when we're doing so many poses on one side compared to the other. So when you've taken water or child's pose for a few breaths, make your way back to your downward facing dog. Maybe take it through plank first to get the good alignment, shoulders over the heel of the hands, then lift up those hips. So taking it through the right side first. Breath in, raise that right leg, hips stay neutral, left foot towards the floor. Bring the knee into the chest, gaze in between the hands, step the right foot through. Drop the back knee, raise the arms. Then bring that left elbow to the right knee, palms together, tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee if you wish. Or keep it grounded if you want to, and you're taking it into that drop knee side plank. Turn and twist the body as much as you can to the right. Try not to let the left hip drop down. If the back knee's lifted, push that left heel back as far as you can. Keep that bend in that right knee. Then release that left hand just in front of the right foot. Come onto the knife edge of the left foot. Step your right foot back to a plank. Raise that right hand to the ceiling. Side plank to the right side of the mat. Drop the back knee, base knee if you need to. And then take a bend into that right knee. Take a hold of the shin, ankle or foot. Help it through to in between those hands. Take that block if you're using it for your half moon. Step onto that right leg, right hand on the block, left hand to the shoulder. Turn the shoulders towards the left side of the mat, as is the hips. Left toes back to the shins. When everything's turned, raise that left hand. Find that right hand as a stabiliser onto the floor or the block. Feel that stability in that standing right leg. Then take a bend into your right knee. Step your left foot back. Find warrior two. Try and control that step back as much as you can so it's nice and light when you land. Bend that right knee a little more. Turn the right knee out to the side. Feel that stretch on the inside of that right thigh. Relax the shoulders. Reverse warrior, turn the palm, reach forward. Raise the right hand to the ceiling, left hand down the back of the left leg. Breathe into that rib cage on the right side. Sink the hips a little lower, left hand bind or not. Then from this point, find your side angle stretch. Right forearm, right thigh. Left arm raises, points towards the front of the room. The chest and the hips should be turned to the left. That left shoulder, try and take it back towards that left hip. One more breath here. Then release those hands down either side of the right foot. Lift that right leg up to the ceiling. Choice to take one leg Vinyasa if you wish. Come forward to plank. Release down to hover. Hop off the back toes. Drop that right leg. And then find your way back to down dog. Lifting the hips. Squeezing those heels back. Or remember you can take whatever variation of Vinyasa you wish to take. Next breath in, left side, raise the left leg, right heel to the floor. Bring that knee into the chest. Gaze in between the hands, find a place for that left foot, drop the back knee, raise the arms, palms together, right elbow, left knee, rotate and twist to the left. Lift that back knee when you're ready. Or keep it down if you wish. Keep squeezing that right elbow into that left knee. Keep that right hip lifted, don't let it drop. Then place that right hand just in front of that left foot. Come onto the knife edge of the right foot as you step that left foot back. Side plank, right knee can drop if you wish. Feel the hips pushing forward, the shoulders pushing back. Nice long line through the body. Then bend that left knee. Take a hold of whatever you can take a hold of. Bring it back forward to the front of the mat to find high lunge legs. Take a hold of the block. Step onto that left foot. Lift that right leg. Lift the chest. Turn the chest to the right side. Then raise that right hand to the ceiling. Pushing the right heel back, right toes to the shins. Toes of the right should be pointing out to that right side. Then take a bend into that left knee. Step your right foot gently back. Find warrior two. Sink the hips. Push into both feet. Relax through the shoulders. Nice, tall, long spine. Then turn the left palm, reverse warrior, either to find a bind or that right hand down the back of that right leg. Breathe into that left rib cage, reaching up through the fingers. And then take a breath out. Bring that left forearm onto the top of the left thigh. Right arm reaches up and over towards the front of the mat. Tuck that tailbone down. One more breath in this side angle pose. Bring both hands down to either side of the left foot. Lift the left leg up to the ceiling. Maybe take that choice of lifted Vinyasa with the left leg, release to a hover, pop the back toes, lift the chest. Making your way back to down dog, lifting the hips, squeezing the heels back. Come down onto the knees, take a moment to take on some water. And then we're going to take that same thing again, but dropping off this time side angle. So we'll be finishing in reverse warrior, and windmilling the hands all the way down to either side of the front foot. As you can tell, as you start to move through the practice gets smaller and it goes a lot quicker. So when you're ready, find yourself back into your downward facing dog, maybe moving through plank first, lifting the hips, squeezing the heels back. Breath in, raise that right leg, left heel stays grounded, hips stay level. Bring your right knee to the chest, gaze in between the hands, step the right foot through, drop the back knee, raise the arms, bring the palms together, left elbow, right knee, twist around to the right. Lift off with that left knee if you wish, keep that rotation of the waist, the lift of the left hip, push into both feet. Try and stack the right shoulder as much as you can on top of the left, use the breath to elongate the inhale and to rotate on the exhale. Then release that left hand back down to the floor. Come onto the knife edge of the left foot, step your right foot back, side plank. Raise that right hand to the ceiling, push the hips forward. This time maybe raise that right leg away from the left. Then bring that right foot towards the right hand, help it forward to the front of the mat. Take your block, step onto your right leg, lift your left, balance with the right hand grounded onto the block, right foot grounded to the floor, left hand and left leg lift, and turn and twist that body to that left side of the mat. Then take a bend into your right knee, slowly and carefully place that left foot to your warrior two. Keep a bend in that right knee stacking over that right ankle. Then turn that right palm, reach forward, reverse the warrior, left hand down the back of the left leg or bind. Remember, this is our last pose before we take it back to Vinyasa. And then from this position, windmill the hands all the way down. Step the right foot back to meet the left or keep it lifted up to the ceiling. Take a Vinyasa of your choice. I'm just taking option 3. Release to a hover. Roll through, lift up the chest. Making your way back to down dog, lifting the hips, squeezing those heels back. So taking that same on the left side, finishing with reverse warrior. Breath in, left leg lifts, straight leg, neutral hips, right heel to the floor, left knee to the chest, gaze in between the hands as you step your left foot through. Drop your back knee, raise the arms, palms come together, right elbow, left knee. Lift that right leg back away from the floor. Rotation is on your exhale, elongation on your inhale. Right hip, try not to let it drop. Keep stable with that left knee as you push in that right elbow into it. Then release the right hand to the floor. Come onto the knife edge of the right foot. Step your left foot back to side plank. Raise the left arm. Either drop the base knee if you wish or lift the left leg away from the right. Holding it for a few breaths, pushing the hips forward. Then take a bend into that left knee, take a hold of the ankle or the foot. Find its way back to high lunge legs. Step onto that left foot, find the block or book. Bring that right hand to the shoulder. Turn the shoulders and hips into your half moon. Toes pointing out to the right, heel pushing back. Half moon pose. Then soften through that left leg, step your right foot back. Bring the arms to warrior two. Sink into that left knee. Push into both feet. Bums tucked under. Lower belly being drawn up. Ribs and hips drawn together. Then reverse the warrior. Reach forward with the left. Raise the left hand to the ceiling. Either find the bind or the right hand down the back of that right leg. Breathe into that left rib cage. And then windmill the hands down either side of that left foot. Step the left foot either back to down dog or lift it to the ceiling. Take your Vinyasa choice from here. I'm sticking option 3, Chaturanga. Roll through, up, lift up the chest. Make your way back to down dog, lifting the hips, squeezing those heels back. So we're going to carry on here as we're starting to reduce the amount of poses. We're just going to flow through a little more. Breath in, raise the right leg. Bring the knee to the chest. Gaze in between the hands as you step that right foot through. Drop the back knee, raise the arms. Bring the palms together, left elbow, right knee. Lift that left leg, rotate to the right. So we're not holding the poses for quite so long now. Release that left hand back down to the floor. Come onto the knife edge of the left foot. Step the right foot back to meet the left. Lift that right leg away from the left leg. Drop that left knee if you need to. Bring that knee into the chest. Grab a hold of whatever you can grab hold of. Bring that right foot back forward. Step forward onto the right leg. Use the block with the right hand. Find half moon, twisting the body to the left. Holding it just for one breath. Then slowly release that left foot down to the floor and find that last pose, warrior two. Suck the belly in, lift the lower belly up. Push that tailbone down. Then windmill the hands down either side of that right foot. Choice of Vinyasa from here. Either stepping the right leg back and lifting the hips. I'm going option 2, releasing all the way to the mat. Rolling through, up, lifting the chest. Making my way back to down dog, chest to thighs. Lifting the hips, squeezing those heels back. Taking those poses on your left side. Breath in, raise that left leg. Bring that knee to the chest. Gaze in between the hands, step the left foot through. Drop the back knee, raise the arms. Palms come together, right elbow, left knee. Keep the back toes tucked under, lift that right leg. Twist to the left or keep the right knee grounded. Hold it for a breath. Then release that right hand just in front of the left foot, knife edge of the right foot, step the left foot back, side plank, lift the left leg away from the right, bend that left knee, take a hold of the foot, the ankle or the shin, bring it back forward to high lunge legs, step forward onto your left leg, use your block if you need to, and find that half moon pose pointing to the right. One more breath here. Then slowly release that right foot to the mat. Find your last pose, warrior two. Trying to find that good alignment, left knee turned out, buns tucked under, shoulders relaxed, arms long. Then windmill the hands down, either side of that left foot, step back to down dog, Vinyasa of your choice. I'm option 2, releasing to the floor, untucking the toes, lifting the chest, making my way back to down dog, lifting the hips, squeezing those heels back. So the last pose now will be half moon. Breath in, raise the right leg. Bring that knee to the chest, gaze in between the hands, step that right foot through. Drop the back knee, raise the arms, palms come together, left elbow, right knee, and twist to the right. Push that left leg away from the floor or keep it grounded. Rotate the waist as much as you can. One breath here. Then release that left hand to the floor. Come onto the knife edge of the left foot. Right foot steps back, side plank. Lift the right arm. Then maybe lift that right leg. Then bend that right knee. Take a hold of the foot or the ankle. Bring it back forward to the front of the mat. Step forward onto your right leg and lift the left leg. Right hand comes onto the block, finding the last pose, half moon, just for a couple of breaths. Really challenging that body with the balance. One more breath here. Then release both hands down to the floor. Step your left foot back, lift your right leg. Either bring it back to the mat or do one leg vinyasa, coming forward to a plank. Release, hop off the back toes, lift up the chest. Making your way back to down dog, lifting the hips, squeezing those heels back. Same on the left side. Breath in, raise the left leg. Breath out, bring the knee to the chest. Gaze in between the hands as you step that foot through. Drop the back knee, raise the arms. Hands to the chest, right elbow, left knee. Lift that right knee away from the floor or keep it grounded. Rotate and twist that body. Nice long, easy breaths in and out. Then release the right hand, come onto the knife edge of the right foot. Step your left foot back, side plank, maybe drop the right knee. Raise that left leg up to hip height. Then bend that knee, take a hold of whatever you can. Bring it forward to find high lunge legs. Step onto that left foot, lift the right leg. Right hand onto the shoulder. Turn the shoulders in the hips. Find half moon to this direction. Stabilizing on that left leg just for one more breath. Then release both hands down. Step back with the right foot. If you took one leg, vinyasa on the other side, do the same on the left. Forward to plank. Release, hop off. Lift the chest. Making your way back to down dog. Lifting the hips, squeezing the heels back. Just come down onto the knees just to take a drink. Then we're going to finish off with the last two poses. So we'll be doing side plank as the last practice on this side. And then we'll go down to rotation. Make your way back to down dog. Shoulders over the heel of the hands first. Lift the hips, squeeze the heels back. Breath in, raise that right leg. Breath out, bring the knee to the chest. Gaze in between the hands, step the right foot through. Drop the back knee, raise the arms. Bring the palms together, left elbow, right knee. Lift that back knee up and away. Rotate and twist that body. Try not to drop that left hip. Then release that left hand to the floor. Come onto the knife edge of the left foot. Step back to a plank. Raise that right leg away from the floor. Bring the right leg back down. Roll back to full plank. Lift the hips. Down dog. Vinyasa or water break if you wish. Forward to plank. I'm taking option 2. Rolling through, lifting the chest. Making your way back to down dog. Lifting the hips, squeezing the heels back. So finishing on side plank on the left side. Breath in, raise that left leg. Bring that knee to the chest. Gaze in between the hands. Step the left foot through. Drop the back knee. Raise the arms. Palms come together. Right elbow, left knee. Raise that right knee away. Breathe in, elongate. Breathe out, rotate. Right hand down. Knife edge of the right foot. Step back to your side plank. Lift your left leg. Find then your full plank position. Lift the hips. Squeeze the heels back. Vinyasa of your choice. I'm option 1. Starting to bring everything down. Ready for that last one pose on both sides. Tucking the toes under, chest back to the thighs. Pushing into those hands, lifting the hips, squeezing those heels back. Breath in, right leg lifts. Breath out, knee to chest. Gaze in between the hands, step the right foot through, drop the back knee, raise the arms, palms come together, left elbow, right knee, tuck the back toes under, lift that back leg, elongate, inhale, exhale, rotate. Release the hands down, either side of the right foot, send that right foot back to meet the left, down dog. Vinyasa of your choice. Making whatever your body needs to work to happen. Very fatiguing as we take all these 8 poses down to 1. We have one more flow on that left side. Breath in, lift that left leg. Bring that knee to the chest, gaze in between the hands, step the left foot through. Drop the back knee, raise the arms. Bring the hands together at the chest. Right elbow, left knee, and twist. Lift that back leg. Keep that rotation. Release the hands down. Step back, down dog. Vinyasa of your choice. So we have one more flow of dancing warrior to finish it off. Maybe finish us off. Making your way back to down dog. So this dancing warrior is breath to movement. So we go to warrior 1 to 2 to reverse to triangle. Breath in, raise the right leg. Breath out, knee to chest. Gaze in between the hands, step the right foot through. Drop the left heel internally. Raise the arms on the inhale. Drop the arms, turn the shoulders and hips. Warrior 2, exhale. Reverse warrior, inhale. And then find triangle pose, straightening the front leg. Right hand down, left hand lifts on your exhale. Breath in, shoulders back over the hips, bend that right knee. Warrior 2. Windmill the hands down. Step back, down dog. Not taking a vinyasa, we take a lift of the left leg. Bring the knee to the chest. Gaze in between the hands, step the left foot through. Drop the back heel, raise the arms on the inhale. Drop the arms to warrior 2 on your exhale. Reverse warrior on your inhale. Then find triangle, straighten the front leg, reach forward with the left hand on your exhale. Bend into that front knee, find warrior 2. Then windmill the hands down either side of that left foot. Step back, down dog. Come down onto the knees. Bring the forearms down to the floor. Tuck the toes under. We're going to find baby crow. So if you don't wish to do this, take yourself onto your back. If you wish to come with me, knees come into those armpits, forearms come down to the floor. And then you try and find that balance off the feet and onto the hands. So the lower we have our bodies, the safer people can feel. Holding it just for 1 more breath. Then release the feet down, widen the knees. Bring yourself just to child's pose for a couple of breaths. Then bring your bums into the centre, swing your legs around, make your way down onto your back. Bring the feet to the front of the mat, the arms down by the sides of the body. Take a little rock of the hips. Take a nice long deep breath in, long breath out. And just take a moment, scan that body from the head down to the fingertips, down to the toe tips. How does your body feel? Let everything go. Be aware of the soles of the feet, the space in between the toes. Be aware of the backs of the legs that are touching the mat. The thighs, the hip flexors, noticing the sit bones that are meeting the floor. What parts of the spine are touching the mat? The shoulder blades, the belly, ribs, chest and collarbones. Tops of the arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, hands, space between 8 fingers and 2 thumbs. Back of the neck, back of the head, top of the head, forehead, the whole of the face, the jaw, the neck, the throat. Take a nice long deep breath in, long breath out. So your choice can be to stay here for a little longer. Just pop me on pause. Or if you wish to come out, start to wriggle the fingers, wriggle the toes. Maybe bring those hands up and over the head, stretching through the fingers, stretching through the toe tips. Bring the knees into the chest. Hug those knees nice and closely into the body. Then just rock that body up and down the spine a few times. Once to seated, back down. Twice to seated, one more time back down. And then bringing yourself all the way up to a seated position, crossing the legs, finding a comfortable seat, roll the shoulders up towards the ears, back down towards the hips. Bring the palms together at the chest, rub the palms to create some heat. Then place those palms over the eyes. Take a nice long deep breath in. Long breath out. Bring the hands back to the chest. Soft gaze down to the floor. Have peace in your thoughts, your words, your hearts. From my heart to yours. Namaste.